pouring our hearts out. And it was nice that I got invited to sing with 5 specific cantors and in a special concert in honor of someone who passed away in that Sun City Jewish synagogue. And it was lovely, and it just warmed my heart to be a part of that group with Ozzie Schwartz, cantor Joseph Gohl, Rabbi cantor Allison Whitsett, and myself, and it was just gleaming with joy to be there. I will be my future self. I am studying and wanting to go into cantorial, but also I'm thinking of going into rabbinical school as well. So that's just something it's planning in my head, and I still need to get my bachelor's degree, so I'm starting fresh. So it's on my way. But thinking far ahead, I'm thinking to be with more people like this because I know we're needed.
Thank you so very much. Kol Tuv, all the best to you in that pursuit.
Thank
Or
you.
those many pursuits, as the case may be. All right. I'm going to ask you to make the transition from getting here to being here. And we're going to take about a minute of silence as we make that transition from the outside world to going within. From the book, This Grateful Heart, Alden Solovey shares, Shabbat is the place. Shabbat is the place where time and space meet, without questioning how the beginning began or how the ending ends. Shabbat is the place where song and silence meet, blessing each other with the gift of rest. Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet, yearning together for a world of peace. Shabbat is the place where holiness and eternity meet, praying together for the world to come. Our service continues with the lighting of the candles, and that can be found on pages 121 and 120, as well as pages 3 and 2. Wendy, can I impose upon you? I didn't even ask before the service. Would that be okay for you to come up and light our candles? Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to be an old person, take off my glasses. All right, as these Shabbat candles, is this on? It's looking very not on. There we go. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. The source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Beautiful. Thank you.
We continue on page 123.
With Kiddush. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat korcho be'ahava uvratzon ilchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זהר ליציאת מצרים. קיבלנו ברכת, אותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הלכתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים.
This week's Torah portion, Terumah, in this section, God asked the children of Israel to donate gifts, Terumah, for the building of the tabernacle so that God may dwell among them. Instructions are provided for the instruction and the construction of the ark, table, and menorah. The people are also given detailed directions on how to build the tabernacle. Rabbi Rachel Baron-Black shares the following entitled Gifts. It is for this week's Shabbat portion, or Torah portion, excuse me. These are the gifts: leather and linen, silver and gold. Each who has moved, return these riches to the place. Every yearning heart, following the blueprint, these are the gifts: parchment scraped fine, and iron gall ink, commentaries in the margins, words intertwined, so that the tabernacle becomes one whole. These are the gifts that make the sanctuary, the presence dwells in us. Our service continues with Shalom Alechem, page 142. And whatever the page is on the in the book. If anybody happens to have-
24.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
Shalom Alechem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moachem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Afuni l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei הקדוש ברוך הוא. תן לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מלך מלאכי המלאכי הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Chatzi Kaddish, the half Kaddish, page 144. and 26.
יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה בריחו לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירם בעלמא, ואמרו Amen.
Please rise as you're able in body or spirit for the Baruch Hu, page 146 and 28.
Lai la la lai 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 lai. Lai la la lai 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 lai. Lai la la lai lai lai. Lai la la lai lai lai. Lai la la lai 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 lai. Lai la la lai lai lai. Lai la la lai lai lai. Lai la la lai 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 lai. ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Please be seated or resume your comfortable position. Actually, I'm hoping that being up is not uncomfortable. We join together for the Ma'ariv, Bringer of Evening, page 148 and 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro Ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishanei itim. Umachalif et hazmanim, umseder et hachochavim, b'mishmerokehem b'kir kirtsono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Umavdir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid imloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Ahavat Olam, page 150 and 32.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, v'shofeinu u'v'kuneinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Yom
we're singing about eternal love. Time for affirmation of faith. Heed, O Israel, the covenant we made together on Sinai is a pledge for all time, a vow for the ages, to do and to pay attention, to teach and to learn, with the fullness of our hearts, from the depths of our souls and the strength of our being, binding ourselves to Adonai our God, with Torah and mitzvot, binding our lives to each other, with righteousness and charity, so that blessings will rain down from heaven to feed our hearts and fill our land with God's abundant gifts, the brilliance and wonder that flow from service to God's holy word, in remembrance of creation and our liberation from slavery, declaring throughout the generations, God is one, God is one, God is one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Heed, O Israel, Adonai is our God. Adonai is one. The Shema can be found on page 152 and 153, or 34 through 35. Please rise as you're able. We rise as we're able for the Shema. Thank you.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Together, Shekenfo Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shekenfo Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. We move from the watchword of our faith to the Ve'ahavta, you shall love, as our beloved Carol Lee comes forward for the Ve'ahavta, which can be found on pages 154 and 36.
I suppose I could use your book. Oh, that's okay. I want to hear all of you, please. Chant with me. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lavavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meotecha v'hayu hadbarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leod al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha laman tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedushim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Amen. Good job. They all sang.
for those who were here in the sanctuary, I'd like you to take a look at Carolee's fingernails. My goodness, they are just glittering and
They're
sparkling.
blinging.
Thank you. All right. Who is like you? Micha Molcha, page 158 and page 40.
Mocha, Micha Mocha Bali Madonna, Micha Mocha Neheza Bakodesh, Nora Tehilo to Seifele, Nora Tehilo to Seifele. Malechut Chara Uvanecha, Bokei Ayam Lifnei Moshe Midian, Zeili Anu. Vada Adonai et Yaakov, Ugalo miya chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai, Gal Israel.
Thank you. Eileen Stein, I know you had your tambourine below Zoom level because we know how much you like to rock out to that song. For those of you who don't know, Eileen would just rather, I don't know what she'd rather do, but lots of things rather than have the tambourine. So, Eileen, you're here in spirit. All right. Hashkivenu for hope. This comes from Ritual Well. Help us to lie down at night in comfort, safety, and peace. May the dreams of our children be sweet tonight and tomorrow and the day after. May the future be bright for them and for their children and for the generations to come. Grant us the ability to rest after long days of work and worry. Give us the chance to let our souls be at peace, and give us the grace to know how to separate from the things we cannot control. Allow us to quiet our bodies and our minds as we drift away from the mundane and enter into the sacred dreamscapes. Spread over us the shelter of your comforting presence. Help us to know that it is okay to let go, to breathe, to be, just to be. Journey with us into our sublime subconsciousness, and let us live in this liminal space of neither here nor there. For when we are with you, we are never truly alone. Guide us, watch over us, protect us. Allow us to rise in the morning with the fragrance of a new dawn, a chance to hope, to create ourselves anew, again and again and again. Our service continues with Vishamru, the people of Israel, pages 162 and 44.
Vishamru b'nei Israel et Shabbat, la'asot et Shabbat b'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Israel Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Last time. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
What did we just sing? The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time.
Amen.
It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. We rise as we're able for Tefillah, our standing prayers, the Amidah, pages 164 and page 46.
Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Ananananana Ufi Yagid, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha.
Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'Eloheinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Lekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chasdei Avot La'imahot, Megigula Libneim V'Hem L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Na'im, Baruch Atah Adonai, Maged Abraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mekayeh Achol Atah Rab Le'Hoshiach, Ashicha Ruach U'Mu'id HaGashem,
מעכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים והופך עולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, בנאמן נטע לך חיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, ותושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Encourage you to use the meditations in your Shidurim or the meditations of your hearts, and then be seated as you complete your time for meditation. Shalom Rav, page 178.
Shalom Rav al Israel amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Israel amcha tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom, ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Israel amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Israel amcha tasim leolam. V'tov me'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol er ubechol sha'a bishlomech. hear you. Shalom Leolam, Shalom Rav Al Israel Amcha, Tasim Leolam, Tasim Leolam, Tasim Leolam.
We are fortunate to gather in person as well as on Zoom, the roomers and the Zoomers. And we know that there are those in our midst, as well as those in our hearts and minds and souls that are in need of healing. I bring before the congregation these names, and then I'll ask for others as well as on Zoom. Ben Henderson, Rabbi Steve Robbins, Gloria Mangus, Leslie Ferris, Pamela Mangus, Judy Richmond, Jesse Dolmore, Glickle Sarah Bat Devora Milka Gittel, Vicki Dix, Ron McDonald, Colton Wayne Whitaker, John Cruz, Mark Feldstein, Dan Strauss, Darlene DeMason, Linda Stroman, Rachel Bet Esther Malchi U Velva Yeshua, Leah Minchala Bat Yehuda Belifsha Chana, Kenny Hayes, William Brown, Charlene Beck, Shani Holness, Shmuel Ben Moshe Bishprinza, and other names that you'd like to mention here in the sanctuary. Thank you. Toda Rabba. Thank you. And the names that I see on the Zoom, Judy Gladstone, Portia Becker, Robin Kurland, Michael Kurland, Marsha Brown, Dorothy Odson, Francine Hoffman. There may be others. May they be lifted before the Holy One. God of love, cast the illumination of health and well-being on these names, and all who are injured, infirm, or insecure. Those who yearn for your healing hand, bless them with healing of body, healing of soul, and healing of spirit. Grant all in need a full and complete recovery. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, source of life. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Mekor Chaim. Mishaberak can be found on page 371 and 253.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mikor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Yishe'echa imotenu mikol ha'ra'ah avotenu. The souls in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
May it be so. Before getting into the sermon, I would like to send you greetings from Mike and Kay all the way in Florida. I have a feeling that they're probably warmer than we are. Mike and Kay, when I left work yesterday, it was 52 degrees in Palm Desert. I know that Riverside has gotten more than its share of rain. A little bit of hail, and as we were driving this way on that's the 60 that we take, Brian? Boy, the mountains were getting covered in a white blanket of snow. It was pretty incredible. All righty. I shared the following joke several years ago. For those who might recall it, I ask you to indulge my repetition. It's entitled Mount Sinai Hospital. A woman called Mount Sinai Hospital. She said, "Mount Sinai Hospital? Hello? Hello, darling. I'd like to speak with the person who gives information about the patients." Now, we're going to have to set aside HIPAA laws and all this stuff that you're not allowed to say, but they're going to pretend. But I don't want to know if the patient is better or doing it as well as expected or worse. I want all the information from the top to the bottom, from A to Z. The voice on the other end of the line replied, "Would you hold line, please? That's a very unusual request." Then a very authoritative voice came on and asked, "Are you the lady who is calling about one of the patients?" She affirmed, "Yes, darling. I'd like to know the information about Sarah Finkel in room 302. He pondered. Finkel, let me see. Feinberg, Feinstein, Finkel. Oh yes, Mrs. Finkel is doing very well. In fact, she's had 2 full meals. Her doctor says if she continues improving as she is, he's going to send her home on Tuesday at 12 o'clock. The woman exclaimed, "Thank God, that's wonderful. She's going home at 12 o'clock. I'm so happy to hear that. That's wonderful news." The guy on the other end commented, "From your enthusiasm, I take it you must be a member of the close family." She said, "Close family? I'm Sarah Finkel. My doctor, he doesn't tell me nothing." Contrary to this woman's experience, God left no stone unturned in this week's Torah portion, Terumah. Exodus chapter 25, verses 1 through 27:19 describes in detail everything our ancestors needed to know about building the tabernacle, the menorah, the table for the showbread, curtains, enclosures, and other accessories. Terumah has been translated to mean something that is lifted or elevated, an offering or a donation. Another translation for terumah is that of gifts. This comes from the opening verse, which reads, "Ve'yadaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael v'chiyuti, v'terumah me'et kol ish asher yadibenu libo tichu et terumati." God spoke to Moses, saying, "Tell the Israelite people to bring gifts. You shall accept gifts for me from every person whose heart so moves them." The list of acceptable gifts includes gold, silver, and copper. These will be used in the making of the Mishkan, a portable tent that will house the Aron Kodesh, the Ark of the Covenant, containing the 2 tablets of the 10 Commandments. The description of what the people are given actually goes beyond the familiar translation of terumah as a gift or offering. Terumah, according to Chabad.org, comes with 2 distinctive roots that both mean separate and elevate. Practically speaking, there was a real need for a fund drive for the construction of the temple. Yet Adonai asked for more. The people were asked to do more than make a gift or a donation. The terumah donation required our ancestors to part with their most precious belongings, cherished like a treasured heirloom, given away as a present. The action required both separating something of great sentimental or monetary value and parting with it. So the translation of the word terumah provides a richer meaning than simply that of a gift. When someone takes their possessions and separates them for God, the individual uplifts the donation as well as themselves. Items of gold and silver are no longer just material items, they are holy. The objects are elevated to a higher plane, as are the donors. The act of making a contribution is merely giving, but by doing terumah, one lifts oneself to the point where they literally take God. The verse that follows, the listing of the acceptable gifts, reads, "And let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them." My Jewish learning explains the phrase, "that I may dwell among them," is significant. The common explanation is that we are to build the sanctuary in our own hearts. Then God will dwell among us. Why did the Israelites need a structure to feel connected to God? Rabbi Bradley Shabbat Artson in the Bedside Torah writes, "Our human nature seeks relationship, so we search for ways to enter relationships with the unreachable. We launch rockets into space, explore the depths of the ocean, and search deep within human history and human emotions to grasp a sense of identity with transcendence. To this end, we do what we can to satisfy our need to love and be loved. From the very beginning, the Jewish sense of transcendence has had a personality we call the transcendent God. Through community, our values and our actions, they help us to strive to build a relationship with the divine presence, a relationship that respects God's transcendence and accommodates the need that we have to love and be loved." The Mishkan, according to Rabbi Artson, was a concrete representation of God's love. The voice of Adonai could be sought in the tabernacle just as it had been in the experience of Sinai. What are your gifts, your skills, your talents, your innate abilities and passions to build, cook, create, teach, or what elevates your human experience and existence to a higher plane when used with kavanah or intention? Several examples come to my mind. One, I've been fascinated by spirituality since a very young age. As a result, I acquired a Bachelor of Science in Theology and a Master of Jewish Studies. The question for me becomes whether I'm using these experiences to a higher and more elevated purpose. Secondly, Ryan can attest that being in the classroom is my happy place, whether I'm there as a student or a teacher. So I taught for 3.5 decades and pursued several graduate degrees. Thirdly, I'm a champion of the underdog, excuse me. So for 34 of my 35 years in education, I had the privilege of working with youngsters who had special needs. These things don't elevate me in prestige or status. I'm merely mindful of what comes naturally to me, not in an egotistical way, but acknowledging my innate leanings. I've been able to give back in an elevated manner. Our lives are the elevated gifts that we bring to the world. I am not able to touch the world in the same ways you are, and vice versa. It's not about superiority. It's about our individual and collective giftedness that brings healing and wholeness. The kavanah, or the intention with which we approach living and loving, takes us to a higher plane. The tabernacle is a portable, internalized Sinai. With the portable Mishkan, our forebears carried a representation of their bond with God throughout their wanderings. The Israelites affirmed in the form of physical emblem their special brit or covenant with God. When we enter this space or any place with a sense of spiritual anticipation and expectation, we open ourselves to the divine presence of delivering or dwelling among us. This is what transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Alden Solvey writes, "The tabernacle. Let me build your tabernacle with my own hands so that your glory will dwell with us once again. I will build a sanctuary in the place between my heart and soul, clearing the residue of sorrow and misdeeds, creating a place for your covenant, your wisdom, and your truth to reside within me. Come, my people, shake off your slumber, shake off your despair. God's majesty waits only for an invitation. Let your days be woven fabric of love. Let your life be the golden lamp of peace. Together we will become the staves and the planks, the walls, the curtain, and the table, each one of us a pillar, a sacred congregation, a faithful assembly, in service to God's holy name. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will. Amen. Okay. It is time for announcements, and if Martha Miller is on Zoom, she's going to be sharing the announcements, and if not, we're going to ask... she's there. Okay. Martha, if you could unmute yourself and share the announcements with us, we thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you. You're very lucky because just about 10 minutes ago, our electricity came back on. It was off all night. So maybe you're not so lucky, but anyway. Please join the Arlington cleanup this Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Meetup point in Target parking lot in Arlington. And for more information, contact Lynn Lipscomb. On March 5th at 9 a.m., we will have a Purim service led by Rabbi Singer and Eric Sabar. A Purim spiel led by our religious school students, and a carnival. Everyone is invited. There will be games and food. Tickets will be available for purchase the morning of the event. For more information, please call the temple's office. Rabbi Michael Lutker is returning for a 5-part series on Thursday at 6 p.m. in March, The Delightful and Surprising Mythology in Judaism. And the Center for Healthcare Education is offering an important first aid class on March 12, 2023, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. free of charge. We urge you to attend. Please RSVP to Rusty Russell. Also, please consider sponsoring an ONEG for after services. There is more information about sponsoring an ONEG in the weekly email. The ONEG for tonight has been sponsored by Lily Basham Castellos. So be the announcements. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much. We're pleased to hear about your electricity.
No, thank you. It just in the nick of time.
It worked out well then. Amy goes,
Yes.
didn't have to do that. Amy's been doing tech while Jory was up here accompanying, so we are most thankful and most appreciative of your efforts, as well as control soloist Ezra for what you've done tonight. I believe we have someone doing security. I'm not sure. Thank you, Lori. We are most grateful for that as well. Wendy, thanks for coming up impromptu and taking care of the candles for us. I would think typically Asher and Shia, but Asher and Shia, along with some others, are in Washington, D.C. For those of you who live locally, you say Washington, D.C., with Rabbi there at Latakan. Some of y'all may know what that's, are they meeting with, they're not meeting with legislatures, they're meeting with Jewish groups maybe? Okay, Jewish groups and legislators, okay, all right. Is there anyone that I have forgotten to thank?
I would love to thank Dr. Jory Yarmoff and
Amen.
for helping me and collaborating. And we actually practiced right before service, and we met yesterday through via Zoom. Thank you. And I believe we hit it off, and it was very much the chemistry was there. And thank you so much. And he's also doing double duty because I see him in the back working the technologies part. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Most assuredly, we are
Yeshabar.
truly thankful for that. Right, if we happen to have any simchas or announcements that you'd like to share, I'm going to pass the mic and run. We're not going to do drop the mic. I've heard that term, but I don't even know what it means. When people say drop the mic. That seems really stupid.
I don't recommend it. Not at all. Especially
The people
all
that
tech
tech
crew.
them, no, don't do this.
We
Anyway,
cringe.
simchas, maybe you had a grandchild that passed a test, or yes, Lori. For those on Zoom, I'm heading back to chat with Lori.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to Southern Africa on October 15th through October 30th with a tour group from the alumni of UC Riverside, and I'm really excited.
Me too, thank you. That's exciting. Okay. Do we have any simchas? The simcha for me is that you're here, both the roomers and the Zoomers. We know that you had a choice tonight, and the fact that we have more than a minion, we were a little concerned about that, but we were going to do it anyway, you know, because we're Reformed and we make informed choices about spiritual matters. So ha ha ha. Oops, sorry. If you're conservative and I just offended you, I apologize, sort of. Anyway, I don't think that there are any other announcements. For those of you who don't know Lynn Lipscomb, Lynn, are you the solitary cleaner-upper of... Okay, well, that's, she's been doing this for years, and I think that it's been, I'm not sure, a labor of love, but she's faithful in having been there, and we are most appreciative. Now, this gentleman has been here before, is that correct? Yes. Never, okay. See, shows you how much I know from being on Zoom. Would you like to introduce yourself? Are you comfortable doing so? You don't have to? Okay, all right. Please excuse me as I head back down. I'm not Phil Donahue, I don't like this stuff.
Welcome.
Howdy, I'm Thomas Fowler from Kansas City. Good to be back to Southern California.
It's good to have you with us. Looks like you brought the weather with you. Or how's the weather back there now?
It's cold and snowing. I've been in Washington
Oh my goodness. So it's just followed you everywhere. Well, we're delighted you're here. We hope that it's been a positive experience for you, both the music as well as the spoken word. All right, our gratitude to Wendy and those who are helping with the owning. At this time, I don't think there's anything else that I need to mention. So I'm going to ask the Goldman brothers if you guys could come forward as we open the Ark doors. If you notice on the inside back cover for the Elenu, let us now praise. Thank you, gentlemen, for doing so. And we are on the inside cover, or for those who have the thin book, page 282, 284, and 286. I know that was impromptu, guys. I appreciate you, your willingness to come up. Thank you.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב עיקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו וגובה מרומים, ואלוהינו אין עוד, ממלכנו אפזולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבועותיו לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד אין עוד. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Lila Basham, you are here in spirit. Page 597. As well as 293. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Those on Zoom, if you'd be so kind to share the names that you have. Shloshim, Irving Klein, first year. Judith Cohen, first year. Sheldon Cohen, first year. David Tanizaki. And the names that we have for our congregation. Those in Shiva, for Kara Gilman, mother of Noah Gilman Morgan, daughter of Marcia Gilman, and partner of Jill Smith. Shloshim, husband of Judy Wall, Dr. Irwin Wall. First year, Terry Cian, Stephen Alexander. Do we have any that are either acknowledging the recently depart? Yes. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. First 30 days or the first year? The art sites before me listed are Lillian Mushkin, Elmer Kopoloff, Paul Aaron Lewin, Victor Spedlnik, Helen Kriedberg, Raymond Meckler, Samuel Aronovitz, Helen Carton, Arthur Feld, Gary Irk, Charles B. Kober, Dorothy Schiffer, Diane Kraft Winston, Shirley Lux, Styra Sokolovitz, Samuel Zoller, Lillian Gershon, Roy Berkman, Nathan Bauman, Charlotte Maxman, Beth Lynn Sklar, Arnold Neiman. Lita Mintz, first year. Let's see. If I happen to miss anyone on Zoom, please know that my apologies are with you. Do we have any others that are acknowledging someone's passing? If not, we rise as a community together as we join together in reading Kaddish Atom, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chayei dekot beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah v'varach le'alam ul'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu. Le'elan min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Na'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Zikronam livracha. May the memories be for a blessing, and let us say, amen.
Amen.
Guys, could you remind me what our closing song is? Because I don't know with all my paperwork here.
No worries. The concluding song that we're going to sing for you, and it makes us really peaceful, and that we leave in peace, and that we're here in peace, and we give peace to all around the world. It's Oseh Shalom on page 180 and 60.
Thank you.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. Amen.
Thank you again, Control Solis. Ezra, Jory, what a blessing. Amy, for pinch hitting as needed. Wendy, the Goldman brothers, thank you. And most especially, all those who are on Zoom joining us via online. We encourage you to chat with one another. We're going to do mostly momentarily. Carolee, you have the youngest spirit in this classroom. I'm so used to being a teacher. In this sanctuary, if we could invite you to come forward for the motzi. Yes, would that be okay? All right. That's it.
Okay, everybody.
Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rising sung together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Please
Shabbat.
drive carefully. Be safe out there. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm sorry? Yeah, come on and join us for the Oneg. It's going to be in the social hall next door.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom on Zoom. Thank you. Thank you for being there.
And
Shabbat shalom.
thank you, Randy.
Shabbat shalom. Lovely service, Randy.
Thank you very much.
Can you see some of the comments?
Shabbat
And
shalom.
thank you, Cantor.
Yes, thank you, Cantor.
My absolute pleasure and honor. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Shabbat shalom and have a safe drive home.
Yes, be careful on those wet roads.
Toda Rabah. All my love and best to you. If you'd pass that along, I appreciate that. Most appreciative. Okay.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you, Mike and Kim. Ami, it's good to see you. Oh my goodness. All the best to you.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Absolutely. You guys sounded like you've been practicing.